the geometry of your canoe. The subtle shift in light when you approach your door. I archive every message and mute the notification sound so I can ask for more. Of the periphery, the edges of your life. I text you only when the signal's weak and thin. Keeping my devotion like a quiet night, just grazing the surface of where you begin. The whole world is asleep outside my glass, but I am standing in a narrow beam of light, holding my breath so the moment doesn't pass. A perfect echo in the middle of the night. I keep the secret love in soft focus, a static come on 80 BPM. It's a museum of hypotheticals where the future only happens in a quiet dream. It's a low volume devotion that only breathes when the light is dim. And this hiding place is the perfect ocean, because you never have to learn how to swim. I still remember the way you used the word ephemeral. It felt too big for just a casual small talk phrase. I keep your voice note in the archive general and hit repeat through all these hazy days. I built a lighthouse, but the lens is bent just enough so the beam never touches where you are. My energy is almost fully spent, maintaining the precise distance between a star and a jar. The air is thin inside this atmosphere. No pressure here, no sound for you to hear. If I broke the seal, I know the magic would disappear. I keep the secret love in soft focus, a static come on 80 BPM. It's a museum of hypotheticals where the future only happens in a quiet dream. It's a low volume devotion that only breathes when the light is dim. And this hiding place is the perfect ocean, because you never have to learn how to swim. What if the telling became the tragic ending? If I gave it gravity and let it fall to the ground, I'd lose the perfect image I've intended, the only version of you I've ever found. In the late hours through the satellite delay, I'd rather keep the distance wholly safe and true than risk the chaos of a single word to say that all these midnight landscapes are designed for you. Just the drone of the fan and the ambient pad, keeping my secret love safe, the one I had. Static hum, 80 BPM. I'm a 2 a.m. satellite, watching you sleep. The clock is bleeding to 15, the hour that I keep. I scroll the perfect timeline while the rest of the city sleeps. You posted a casual landscape, a moment you didn't define, and I spent 10 minutes analyzing the curve of your casual line. This screen is my Was it a slip of the finger? Or did you have something to say? I analyze the timing, the rhythm of your subtle pause. I write whole compositions that follow none of your laws. You send me a late night emoji, a simple universal face, and I read the entire subtext, carving out our imagined place. The perfect reply is formed in 3 words I'll never send. I stop the moment sharply before the meaning has to bend. The quiet is humming a low electric drone. I'm perfectly happy to sit here on my own. It's just a blue light confessional where I map your every star. I built a separate universe right here where we are. I keep this unacknowledged energy, a frequency you can't dial in, and I love you quietly in the spaces where silence begins. A silent devotion, a shadow cast by the phone. If I spoke the secret out loud, the noise would shatter the glass and ruin the delicate fiction, the moment that shouldn't pass. So I'll keep the distance curated, a peaceful, untouchable blue. It's safer to hold this feeling than never have to lose you. Dim the screen down slow, the ambient pads hum low. I'll delete the paragraph I wrote. Wait until the sun can show, just the blue light fade, the secret safe. The secret safe.
Timestamp where you left an arrow icon, trying to calculate the truth that you rely on. I archive every thread before I go to sleep, the quiet promises that I intend to keep. This blue light haze is where my history begins, winding casual moments just to check for wins. It's like I tune the radio to static just to hear the way your laugh folds in the middle when no one is near. I'm analyzing pauses in a 5-second story, living in the shadow of your digital glory. And I exist right here on frequency drift, a parallel current, a calculated gift. I built a glass house around the sunset desire, watching your satellite burn away the wire. We're walking inches apart, but you don't know I'm here, broadcasting silently for no one else to hear. I know the tilt of your head when you are thinking hard, the way your focus always drops a mental guard. I see the hesitation that precedes your smile, the tiny moments that the world just files away. I stay suspended in the space, perfectly still, 'cause silence is the only way this void can fill. If I disrupt the wavelength, if I speak your name, the whole transmission shuts down, losing all its gain. I got to radio to static just to hear the way your voice I reached out my hand, the mirror might just shatter, and the beautiful nothing we share wouldn't matter. So I'll keep running silent, I'll keep the current clean, the ghost in the machine, the watcher on the screen. Freeze, drift, just a on this silent frequency.
The blue light from your phone is the only street lamp glowing, reflected in the quiet of the coffee cup you're holding. I watch you from the corner where the shadow keeps me cool, a perfect muted scene, ignoring every rule. I've memorized the rhythm of your hand against your hair, the casual dismissal of the oxygen and air, and every word you offer is a feather on the floor. I collect them in a vault behind a locked and silent door. This is the frequency of one, a clear signal received, but never sent. A broadcast meant for no one underneath the late night sun. A self-contained, high-fidelity element. I am the only listener on this lonely wavelength, where the voltage of my feeling meets the current of my strength to keep the whole transmission hidden clean and tight. A secret constellation burning in the dark late night. We talked about the rainfall, or maybe the weekend plan. My voice a steady rhythm, professionally bland, but I heard the hidden harmonies beneath the simple phrase, tracing pathways back to you through unfamiliar maze. You leaned in just a fraction and the world began to spin, a calculated hazard that I always let you in, and I rehearsed the movements of my face when I reply, lest the truth be visible inside the whites of my tired eyes. This is the frequency of one, a clear signal received, but never sent. A broadcast meant for no one underneath the late night sun. A self-contained, high-fidelity element. I am the only listener on this lonely wavelength, where the voltage of my feeling meets the current of my strength to keep the whole transmission hidden clean and tight. A secret constellation burning in the dark late night. What if I cracked the casing and let the feedback roar? Would the static consume everything we built this friendship for? It's safer on this channel, sealed beneath the glass, to let the quiet version of this perfect moment pass, because the beauty of the signal is it cannot be denied, but the danger of the sending means there's nowhere left to hide. I pull the volume down until the onion pads surrounds the gentle electric hum without a single sound, just the frequency of one drifting out beneath the moon, still listening for you. The city is inhaling slow. The hour is past 2. I trace the neon glow reflecting off of you. You're talking about the future, lines drawn in the sand, and I'm just studying the shadows on your hand. I know the cadence of your laughter in the dark, a fragile perfect sound that leaves no visible mark. We share the silence, but the air between us bends. We're standing close like lovers, but we're only friends. There's a perimeter of silence I maintain, a tiny pressure point beneath the constant rain. And I can feel the current where my truth must hide, a tidal pull of feeling deep down inside. I live on ghost frequencies, a static silent hum, a signal I transmit, but no, you're never welcome. I keep this radio low, below the noise floor, an unread headline waiting right outside your door. I'm stuck inside this dream transmission loop, forever scanning an alternate reality that no one else is planning. I analyze the way you lean in when you speak, and memorize the color draining from your cheek. I watch you walk away and hold the fading heat, pretending that this failure is something bittersweet. I edit every conversation, cut the candid parts to keep the perfect distance required for broken hearts. It's a quiet, cold devotion, a meticulously placed lie, something I can only witness when the world goes by. We're standing skin to skin, but there's a mile of glass between us. I breathe the same air, but I'm locked outside the truth that greets us. I live on ghost frequencies, a static silent hum, a signal I transmit, but no, you're never welcome. I keep this radio low, below the noise floor, an unread headline waiting right outside your door. I'm stuck inside this dream transmission loop, forever scanning an alternate reality that no one else is planning. If I press end on everything my heart knows, would the whole delicate system just collapse? Maybe it's safer in this half-light where nothing has to be defined. I prefer the soft flow echo of what's secretly mine. Let the ambient pads just swell and take the space. Keep the secret sealed within this quiet place. I live on ghost frequencies, a static silent hum, a signal I transmit, but no, you're never welcome. I keep this radio low, below the noise floor, an unread headline waiting right outside your door. I'm stuck inside this dream transmission loop, forever scanning years to a profile photo set, analyzing captions, things you likely now forget. You mention chasing storms, you talk about the rain. I memorize the sentiment and file away the pain. It's like archaeological data, excavating moments gone. You exist so perfectly within the digital dawn. I could send one word, break this immaculate spell, but then you know my fortress in the story I won't tell. You are a frequency I can only receive, a perfect signal I'm not allowed to believe. This is the muted blue hour where the secret plays out loud. I'm the hidden audience, lost within the crowd. My love is tethered to the timestamps that you leave. A one-way broadcast, I'm never gonna grieve. I know the contour of your smile in this low light. The private cinema, running all night. Maybe silence is the only way this thing survives. If you knew the depth of the archive where my feeling thrives, this fragile silent orbit would just shatter and decay. It's safer on the edges, observing every single day. I don't want the friction, the reality of voice. I just want the echo. I made the lonely choice. I close the app, the blue light fades away. I wait for tomorrow's post, the ghosts of yesterday. My finger finds the lock screen, the choir returns home. A satellite alone, spinning on its own. Until the next transmission, until the next transmission. The city is quiet, just a distant siren hum. I'm sitting in the glow where the daylight never comes. A digital echo of a day I didn't share. I scroll past your laughter, a perfect unaware. It's like decoding signals only I can see. The texture of your shirt, the small geography of where you were standing, who you were talking to. I learned your whole perimeter without ever crossing through. I live on a neighboring frequency. We share the same voltage, the same city opening line. When the coffee shop is slow, it's simple, it's effortless. Just the facts you need to know. Then I watch you approach and the thought evaporates. My careful rehearsed monologue completely dissipates. I watch you order tea and the distance starts to stretch. I'm a ghost in the background, a momentary sketch. It's a strange slow motion watching your life unfold. A story I cherish, a story I haven't told. I live on a neighboring frequency. We share the same voltage, the same city grid. But you don't know the silent gravity, the secret I've carried, perfectly hid. You are the clearest transmission in my late night feed. A song I pick up, but a broadcast I don't need to be heard on. I'd rather just receive this beautiful cold reality. Maybe the silence is safer than the sound. If I broke the glass, everything would spin around. This suspended state is a private masterpiece, a feeling contained, a temporary inner peace. I don't need the answer, just the shimmer of the light to keep me connected to your orbit through the night. Just the knowledge that you're there, just out of my control. A constant current running through my dream and soul. The screen goes dark, but the memory stays bright. Still listening, the deep neon light. Just tuned in. Neighboring frequency. Good night. The city sleeps in muted tones, a film of silver dust. I trace the lines the screen throws out, fueled only by my trust in the architecture of this room, where every sound is low. I know your schedule and your mood in ways you'll never know. I'm cataloging tiny shifts of flicker in your profile light. A silent vigil, slow and deep, anchored in the late night. I hold the weight of all the words that never left my tongue. A perfect tension, high and thin, when nothing can be sprung. Because the distance is the glaze that keeps the moment bright. If I leaned in, it might just break under the harsh daylight. This is my quiet archive, where the perfect feeling stays. I am the curator of details, scattered through your days. gentle comfort of the place where I fit in. This is my quiet archive, where the perfect feeling stays. I am the curator of details scattered through your days. I keep the photograph unbroken, safely framed in glass. The secret joy of knowing you, a whisper that won't pass. I'm on perimeter watch tonight, guarding the fragile blue of this world I built around the chance that I might matter to you. If I confess this atmosphere, this carefully balanced stare, the pressure of the sudden truth would make you stop and stare. And everything I cherish now, the potential soft and whole, would vanish in the heavy sound of losing all control. So I stand back, let the shadow lengthen and protect the dream. It's safer as an echo, darling, than a spoken stream. The slow hum of the cooling night, just me in the peripheral light. Just me in the peripheral light. I won't move, I won't touch, I won't move, I won't touch. The city breathes a silence theme, 2 floors below my line of sight. I trace the algorithm of your old profile bathed in blue monitor light. It's always 3 a.m. in the slow motion orbit, electric guitar on repeat. I'm cataloging the background noise and photos from 2 summers on your street. I know the geometry of your laugh, the way your collar sits. This is the safest place to be on the frayed edges of what exists. I drive the truth into the screen, then watch the blinking cursor drown because the quiet is so absolute. No turbulence can break me down. I hit the backspace key inside, leaving only ghost marks in the air. I prefer this weightless floating space where expectations cannot snare. I live outside your atmosphere, where the air is filtered cool and slow. This is the perimeter of sound, the perfect distance to watch you glow. If I ever sent the signal out, it would rupture this glass echo in my head. The words I didn't have to speak, the feelings that were never said. I live outside your atmosphere, where the air is filtered cool and slow. This is the perimeter of sound, the perfect distance to watch you glow. If I ever sent the signal out, it would rupture this glass in space. The quiet clarity is mine alone, sealed within the silent grace. And I am happy with the satellite delay, a constant moment kept at bay. What if the daylight version of this feeling is just static water, dull and gray? Maybe the magic only thrives within the inches that I keep away. I'm afraid of the turbulence, afraid of what the tremor might reveal. So I'll remain the quiet observer, the only one who knows exactly how I feel. Floating miles above the earth, where the gravity can't pull me in. Just the hum of the ambient pad, the glow of the phone, the satellite delay keeps playing out forever. A sustained fading electric tone. The blue light cuts across the screen. At 2 a.m. the world is clean and quiet enough for me to trace the history of your favorite place. You caption everything in gold, a perfect story neatly told. I hover here, a careful ghost, observing what you love the most. My finger rests above the send. I type a sentence, watch it bend into the shape of something cool, just shallow enough to follow the rule. But the real words are heavy, they drop like stones. They only exist on private tones, a high frequency whisper beneath the floor. I wanna give you so much more. This is where the secret lives, in satellite silence, a perfect suspended thought, free from all violence. I don't need a witness or a flashing neon sign, just the gentle distance of your orbit next to mine. If I broke the atmosphere and tried to make contact, we lose a slow delay, the beautiful abstract. So I keep the promise buried deep beneath the sand. You are safer in the air, a message unsent. I think of how your laughter sounds when the noise of the city finally drowns. A private rhythm only mine, a truth I let the darkness sign. I could name every scar upon your sleeve, every reason that you try to leave, but I only interact with shadows and haze. The version of you that my mind portrays, it's safer standing on the edge, tied to this quiet window ledge, because the current is too strong and I know exactly where I don't belong. But the real words are heavy, they drop like stones. They only exist on private tones, a high frequency whisper beneath the the floor. I wanna give you so much more. This is where the secret lives in satellite silence, a perfect suspended thought free from all violence. I don't need a witness or a flashing neon sign, just the gentle distance of your orbit next to mine. If I broke the atmosphere and tried to make contact, we lose the slow delay, the beautiful abstract. So I keep the promise buried deep beneath the sand. You are safer in the air, a message unsent. What if I type the 3 words out, emerge from all the fog and doubt? Would the quiet stop, the magic cease? Would I steal your accidental peace? I built a museum out of fragile glass and time, and this secret, yes, this secret is sublime. It's mine to hold, mine to defend. I will not risk the way this evening ends. Just a gentle distance, satellite silence. I let the blue light fade and go, watching the sunrise start to glow. Message unsent. Message unsent. The city is drowning in a low frequency hum. 2 a.m. glow, waiting for the morning to come. I see the ghost of your profile on the glass of my screen, an archive moment of a place I've never been. I know the rhythm of your shadow on the blind, a silent observer always steps behind. I'm tuned to your orbit, but I keep it distant, sweet, a perfectly sterile, self-imposed defeat. Every unsaid word is a code I can't break, a quiet earthquake on a soft focus satellite orbiting your light, watching the silent movements of your day and night, hidden in the ambient at a neverland, just a secret written in the palm of my hand, unspoken frequency pulsing through the wire, a distant steady cold electric fire, you and me always just outside the boundary line where every star is yours but the watching is mine. The watching is mine. Maybe proximity would ruin the view. Maybe the fantasy is better than the new. If I step out of the shadows, will the glow disappear? The safest place to love you is always from here, suspended in the silence where the dreaming is free. Forever just a moment on your periphery. Soft focus satellite fading out of sight. Just the electric guitar picking a slow, lonely phrase, counting down the hours, counting down the days. I'm being pat, sustained. The secret remains. Soft focus satellite. The low-lit apartment glow reflects on my screen. Watching the clock tick past 2:15. You're an unread blue dot, a profile I visit, a perfect circumference that I won't solicit. I delete the sentence where the honesty starts. Keep the perimeter intact around my own heart. This electric guitar line is thin and sustained, just like the hope that my sanity contained. I move the cursor back, hit the pause on the feed, planting a single silent seed. My imagination runs on an ambient track, knowing there's no way to ever go back to the time before you were the one I knew. It's a static bloom, this frequency I keep, a quiet voltage that won't let me sleep. I tune you in deep past the noise and the flares, a whispered broadcast that only my silence hears. If I sent the signal, would the reception break? I'd rather hold the beautiful hum for your sake. Yeah, it's a complicated control slow motion, a self-sustaining endless devotion. We share the same coffee shop, the same 2 square blocks. You talk about deadlines and changing the locks, and I'm just collecting the data you drop. The way that your hand pauses right at the top of the mug handle when you're mid-thought. It's a perfect film loop that I accidentally caught. I hear your laughter slightly muffled through the wall, and that's enough to stop the world from the fall. I move the cursor back, hit the pause on the feed, planting a single silent seed. My imagination runs on an ambient track, knowing there's no way to ever go back to to the time before you were the one I knew. It's a static bloom, this frequency I keep, a quiet voltage that won't let me sleep. I tune you in deep past the noise and the flares, a whisper broadcast that only my silence hears. If I sent the signal, would the reception break? I'd rather hold the beautiful hum for your sake. Yeah, it's a complicated, controlled slow motion, a self-sustaining, endless devotion. This confession 1,000 times, just little fragments of neon-lit rhymes. But the air is too delicate for the truth to land. It only exists here, safe in my hand. A fragile, shimmering bubble I'm scared to pop, afraid the music will suddenly stop. I'm just enjoying the stop, enjoying the bloom. Yeah, the low frequency drone in this empty room. I keep the connection dim, a whisper for the late night, safe in the quiet, safe in the distance. Good night.
The room is dressed in midnight blue and smoke. I trace the lines the city left outside the glass. There's a silence here that doesn't feel like peace, just the low hum of the power lines that pass. In the electric quiet of the feet I watch, scrolling through moments that never included me. Every profile picture holds its breath, its meaning locked, a fragile, perfect proximity. I've learned the curve of your collarbone in monochrome. I know the places where you hide your deepest smile. My inner monologue is set to drone and only uses your name for a while. I keep you locked on a low frequency, a static glow inside my own head. makes it real. If I break the circuit, lose control, will I forget the way the silence feels? I built a velvet cage around this one, where nothing moves and nothing shatters. Maybe this perfect suspended moment, constant, is all that ever really matters. I keep you locked on a low frequency, a static glow inside my own head. This is where the secret is safe and sound. Unspoken lines on an ambient pad. If I broadcast this feeling, it might get lost, so I keep the signal running slow and deep. It's a satellite I'm paying for the most, a perfect secret that I intend to keep. I intend to keep. This calm late night hum, just the electric guitar fading out, and the static glow until the sun comes. I'll tune you back in tomorrow night when the signal is low and the mood is right. Blue hour bleeds across the pane. Another night I'm counting traffic rain. I know the precise rhythm of your key in the lock, and the second the kitchen light comes on the block, I've mapped out the geography of your routines. Silent satellite orbiting unseen. I don't need proximity, just the hum of your presence, a perfect self-contained late night evidence. This is the quiet calculus of my affection, a private frequency, a safe reflection. It's safer here inside the echo chamber of my head, where every word I wanna say has already been said. I'm transmitting on invisible broadcast, a perfect theory designed never to be surpassed. If you never know, then this feeling can't be broken. A silent secret, perfectly unspoken. I built small altars to your careless phrases, the way you tilt your head when you're lost in thoughts, hazy mazes. We stood for 3 minutes by the vending machine. You were talking about a film, I was just soaking up the scene. I archive every accidental touch of your sleep, a curated highlight reel I alone believe. I learn your patterns like constellations in the indigo dark, and hold my breath when you leave your unmistakable mark. This is the quiet calculus of my affection, a private frequency of
just too fragile to discard. If I were to speak this yearning out into the night, would the whole flawless system dissolve into harsh light? I keep the connection steady, just a quiet ambient drone, because this perfect version only exists when I'm alone. The streetlights flicker out, the city starts to wake. I gather up the pieces I carefully make and tune back into the hum of the electric strings. This feeling is the only thing the lonely late night brings. Good night, my beautiful unacknowledged constellation. Safe within the bounds of my imagination. The city is inhaling slow past midnight. A filter shifts the blue light on my screen. I trace the lines of a laugh from last June and wonder what you're humming. Silence means the feed is moving fast. A careful highlight reel of places I have never been allowed to see. I know the timeline of your day better than mine. Just navigating where you used to be. It's a fragile kind of faith built on pixels. A steady 80 BPM beneath my skin. I wait for shadows to conceal the window frame, so the light won't give away the place I'm in. suspended here above the asphalt. A quiet viewer keeping watch until the sun